Hey folks, it's Bill Harrison from the Emma team, and today I want to go into a bit of a deep dive on a pretty commonly used feature in Emma, which is the membership statistics dashboard, also just called membership stats. Now, knowing your membership is a critical thing inside of any local, and every Emma user wants to have accurate membership data to know how many people they have in their member base. If you're in a right to work local, what the percentage membership is at each of your companies and each of your work locations. And getting that set up correctly in Emma is a process that's critical to making sure that the membership stats you're getting on the back end are absolutely the correct information. So today we're going to dive into looking at membership stats, showing you what data you get from membership stats, and then kind of peeling back the onion a little bit and looking at how Emma gets set up so that that information is reported correctly in the membership statistics dashboard. So first, let's look at our demo system. This is our Emma demo system, and we're looking at the membership statistics dashboard. For those of you that might not be familiar, we're going to the admin menu, scrolling down to membership stats, and that's what's giving us our membership dashboard. You'll notice that this summary screen gives us information on our membership today, totals for our entire local, as well as membership summary information by employer and by work location within each of those employers. We can filter this on the dashboard by user. So if we want to look at, for instance, only the membership stats for a particular union representative who manages certain companies or certain work locations, we can choose that user here, and the dashboard will then be filtered so that only the data for that particular rep is used. Similarly, we can compare our data over time. So if we wanted to look at how our stats looked last Friday compared to today, we can pick a start date and an end date, and Emma will show you how the membership has changed. And it will color code this with green icons for increases in membership, red icons for decreases in membership, so that you can easily see the dynamics of how your membership is changing over a particular period of time. Okay, so that's the basics on how to view and look at and assess membership data inside of the member stats dashboard. But how do we actually set this up to make sure that we're getting the correct information? Well, the key to this, the absolute most important thing, is looking at person types inside of Emma. So if you're an Emma user, you're very familiar with person types. A person type is the way we categorize any person inside the Emma database. So that means that a person might be an active member, or they might not be an active member. They might be a former member or somebody who used to work for a union company. They might be a new hire who hasn't yet joined the union. They could be any number of different categories. Some of our locals have only 3 or 4 person types. Others have more than 20 person types. It really is up to you as a Emma user how you want to set up your system, and typically these person types are set up during your implementation, although routinely customers add new person types as they go. Now, one of the things that's most important to making membership stats accurate is that we have to determine for every single person type, is this person type to be counted as an active member or not? And different locals have different policies on this. For example, a person who signs a new membership application. In some locals, a person who has just signed a membership application has their own membership type and gets counted as a member from the moment they sign their application. In other locals, they may not want to count that person as a member until they're fully affiliated. So a new hire or newly signed person might be a non-member, whereas an affiliated member would be a member. Regardless of your policy, the important thing is that you communicate with us about how you want each of these person types to be measured so that we can determine how to set them up as either membership, as either active members or as non-members in the membership stats. So that's step one, is making sure we get everybody there. But there's another step that has to be done, and that really pertains to particularly to locals that have allow multiple positions. In other words, they have members that are working multiple union jobs at the same time. So to look at those in more detail, let's dive into our demo system and let's look at an example. So from the membership stats screen, we're going to go over and look at kind of a sample member, okay? So we have Aiden here. Now we can see by looking at Aiden's information that Aiden has if we go look at his employee information, we're going to see his person type right here at the top of the screen is active. So he's an active member within this local. Well, probably that member type means that is a member type that would be counted towards membership stats. This is an active member that we're going to designate as being part of our active membership stats for counting members. Now, you'll also notice, though, that this person has two different positions. This position that is designated with the blue icon and another position that's designated with the green icon. If we click on the first member position, we're going to notice that the person is active in this position. So they're working at this job, but they're not billable in this job. In other words, they're not paying dues at this location. This is common in many locals where if a person is working two different union jobs at the same time, they're actually only paying dues under one of those positions. In some locals, that's not the case. And if they're working multiple positions, they're paying dues at multiple positions. Emma gives you the flexibility to manage either way. In the case here, we'll see that this blue position is active but does not pay dues. But if we click on the green position, we'll see that it is active employment status and also actively billable. In other words, the person is paying dues under this position. Now the question is, how would this person show up inside of membership stats? Well, that really depends on how you want to handle this. Some locals want to only count dues paying members, right? In that case, we would want this position, which has a billable status of active, which means they're paying dues in this position, to also have the checkbox that says include in membership stats. That means this position is going to show up in membership stats as an active member. Going back to the other position, you'll notice that include in membership stats is set to no underneath this position. That means that this position is not going to count towards membership stats. That's often the policy for many locals. They want to count members, but only count the members that are actively paying dues. Now, that's not always the case. In some locals, we may want to count members regardless of whether they're paying dues at these locations, right? So we might want to allow somebody who's holding two jobs to show up as two different members. So Emma gives you that flexibility. That might particularly be the case if they're actually paying dues in two different locations. If they're two dues paying entities, some locals want them to count as two different members. So how would we make this change if we wanted this position to show up in membership stats as well? Well, let's go into our demo system and take a look. First, we'll go to membership stats, and we'll notice that right now we have a total of 618 active members in our demo database. But if we go back here to our sample member and we go to his position that is in this non-billable status. In other words, he's not paying dues here. Let's edit that position and let's go down and check the box that says include in membership stats. So even though this member is not paying dues at this location, they are actively employed in a separate position and we want to count that. So we'll check the include in membership stats box. We'll save this information and now we'll go back over to our membership stats and we'll refresh the stats using the refresh stats button. Remember, our membership count is 618. We'll refresh the stats and you'll see almost instantly that our membership count now went to 619. Now, a little comment on membership stats. The membership stats calculate every night automatically. There's a process that runs in the middle of the night. It goes through your whole database. It counts up all the people according to the settings that we have in Emma, and it gives you this information. But if information is changing throughout the day and you want to see the most current membership stats info, just click this refresh stats button. The system will go back and recalculate this information. And as this pop-up shows, the process can take as much as 5 minutes, depending on how large your database is, how complex the rule set is. But it will update and you'll see little changes, little yellow flashes on the screen as the numbers update on this dashboard. Okay, so what we've done, just to kind of review, is we have a member with 2 active jobs. They work in 2 different companies for 2 different union positions. In one of those positions, they pay dues. In another position, they don't pay dues. But in this case, we've decided we want to count that as 2 members, one under each of those employers. And we can accomplish that by simply going into the position and checking the checkbox that says include in membership stats. Okay? So that's an easy way to get somebody on or off membership stats in each individual position. But also remember that the key to this person showing up at all is in their employee information with their person type. So if we change that person type to an inactive person type, let's say this person moved to another city and quit both of these positions, we would have to set that person type to inactive, and in that case, they would not be represented in membership stats at all under either of those 2 positions. So I hope this is a helpful thing for you to understand a little bit of how information flows from the member record into membership stats. You, as an Emma user, have the option, if a person only has 1 position and they have an active member type, then they're going to show up in membership stats normally as just 1 person. If they have multiple positions and if they have multiple active positions, then you, as the Emma admin, get to decide how you want to count those. Do you want to count just 1 position in membership stats? And if so, which position? Typically, locals would have a primary position, the position under which the member is paying dues. And very often that's what gets counted in membership stats. But with this setup, with person types and the ability to go into each position and check a checkbox that determines whether or not that position counts in membership stats, gives you total flexibility over what you are seeing on that dashboard under membership stats. Now, if you're looking at your statistics and you're concerned that they may not be accurate, the first step would be contact us and let's review all of your person type settings. We'll go through all your person types with you and make sure that we've designated the correct person types to be considered members and non-members. That's the first step to making sure that membership information is recorded accurately. Okay, so hopefully that information helps. This is a part of Emma that's always been a critical feature, but we've just done a major upgrade and a major refresh to this feature to allow this ability to report on multiple positions underneath a single member. In the past, a member was a member and they counted as 1 member regardless of how many simultaneous jobs they might be holding. Now, we have a lot more flexibility with that. And with that flexibility comes some requirements for making sure that things are configured correctly and that positions are being administered correctly. So if that's something you need additional help with or you'd like us to walk through it on your system, reach out to us. Just drop us a note and we'll be happy to jump on a call and walk you through this process. But hopefully this video gave you some good info, gave you a good overview of why membership stats work the way they do, and hopefully you can start using this dashboard reliably and consistently to get the information you need for yourself and for your management team on how your local is doing on its membership goals. Thanks very much. Appreciate it.